I know. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So on this day in 1912, the Titanic set sail for New York. Let's take a moment to remember the captain. Biden welcomed Japan's prime minister to the White House today. Evidently, there were some awkward moments when Joe kept asking him for the number 3 with a side of egg rolls. Oh, God. And he's Japanese. He's not even Chinese. I figure I'd point that out. In an effort to appeal to Gen Z, Mattel is updating Scrabble to include a no-scoring option after research revealed that young people are morons. On hearing that Mattel is revising Scrabble to include no scoring, people are now asked to call it soccer. A United flight bound for Seattle had to divert to Dallas after a dog pooped in first class. Apparently, a blind passenger thought they were serving Indian food.
Oh, racist would say.
Setting the tone.
Oh, this is so bad. A man in South Africa committed suicide by enticing a cobra to bite him rather than serve a long prison sentence. That would never happen to me. Too many women would try to suck out the poison. A consumer watchdog group says the popular kid snack Lunchables contains high levels of lead, sodium, and cadmium. I don't see what the problem is, said Casey Anthony. And finally, on Monday, a Mexican TV station accidentally aired video of a man's testicles while presenting viewer-submitted footage of the eclipse. I guess they were right. Staring at the eclipse is nuts. All right. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, stop now. Stop. It's not worth it. So next year's plans don't include the trans. The National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, made up of 241 small colleges, has banned transgender athletes from competing in women's sports, which is great. College sports shouldn't be about men pretending to be women. It should be about athletes pretending to be students. So the NAIA decided that starting next school year, only students whose sex is female can play in women's sports. Who would think that this is somehow considered a daring move? But that is 2024 for you. You used to have to fight to the death for a woman to prove your bravery. Now you just have to acknowledge that they exist. So it appears that women's sports are only for women. Sorry, Randy Weingarten. You'll have to wrestle with the men. But not everybody in college sports agrees.
If you're a woman, you should play. If you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play. That's my opinion.
Do you think transgender women should be able to participate
that's your question
in
you
college
want
basketball?
me to ask. I mean, you want to ask, so I'll give you that. Yes. So now the barnstorm of people are going to flood my timeline and be a distraction to me on one of the biggest days of our game.
I love this part when she says, if you consider yourself as a woman. So womanhood is so precious that anybody can join. No surgery or eyebrow plucking necessary. You don't even have to learn to cook.
A sexist would say.
But maybe Staley is thinking ahead, and just like the Marines, she's looking for a few good men. But if you care at all about science and reality and fairness, then they accuse you of being obsessed. This sentence was actually published in the Washington Post, quote, "Trans athlete rights have long been the subject of conservative attacks and scrutiny." Wait, it's long been the subject of conservative attacks? It wasn't around 5 years ago, before Jesse was bald. That's how we measure time at Fox. It only became a subject when the media and corporations, cowered by activists, amplified the tiniest population into a civil rights battle for our time. When the most important thing in the world is that the Secretary of Health can wear pumps with his jockstrap. But I do love the title Trans Athlete Rights, as if shoulder-length hair and some lipstick suddenly transforms you into a mystical being with more human rights than everybody else. I wish. I still got a speeding ticket when I was pulled over last Halloween. I think it was Halloween. Might have been last week. And these trans men wouldn't be subject to scrutiny if the left didn't keep demanding we reject everything mankind has learned over the past 150 years about human biology. Follow the science, they say, unless it leads you to a prostate. See, only men have that, but it's okay. But when you refuse to reject centuries of scientific fact, they call you a big meanie. And how about this claim from the Washington Post? The science surrounding any physical advantages transgender women may retain over cisgender women is unsettled, and research is ongoing. The science? What science are you citing? What doctor did you ask? This guy? And the Washington Post says this is unsettled? No, it's unsettling and obvious. Remember how their motto is, democracy dies in darkness? No, their writers are just blind. Because if you use your eyes, this is what you see. They want to gaslight you into not believing your own senses. Take Leah Thomas. It would have to be really dark, and I'd have to be really drunk. So I predict this era will be viewed this way, a social contagion spread via social media, ignited by delusional and unwell people. It was accelerated by the false compassion of fearful, easily manipulated women and strange men. The goal, to forbid questioning this ideology without you becoming the freak, the transphobe, the outsider. They were punishing you for being normal. So what about normal women? Well, wokeism has already turned many of them into racists, and now it's turning them into misogynists. They transitioned themselves into everything they hate. It's like they put a mask on reality. And who did it harm most? Girls. This contagion of gender rejection affected young females the most because they're more likely to be on social media and assume the latest trend as gospel. But now playtime's over. The adults are back in the room, and we're done pretending that you don't know the difference between girls and boys. So you fellas out there that find the NAIA decision a real kick in the nuts, keep your hairy chin up and stop your crying, because your mascara will run. Welcome tonight's guests. That wasn't the moon blocking the sun, it was his gorgeous hair. Former GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. She's half rocker, half Betty Crocker. Host of Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. He's like Joe Rogan without all those annoying millions of fans. Comedian Adam Hunter. And when he wants to get his fortune told, he doesn't go to a medium, he goes to an extra large. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion, Tyrus. Vivek, I feel like we're seeing the end of the craziness. Like the adults are entering the room in a bunch of different areas. What say you, young man?
Look, I think people are starting to see the common sense of this. And on the trans piece, I just want to think about this for a second, Greg. Let's say you started claiming to be black, painted your face black, started wearing dreadlocks, claimed to be a diverse late-night addition to late-night television, right? A lot of black people would find that offensive. Whoopi Goldberg would be on The View tomorrow morning calling you a racist.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go that
far. For once, she would have a point. You know, and the reason is it's offensive. And I think it's equally offensive when Leah Thomas puts on some lipstick and has a boob job and claims to be a woman, when a bunch of women competing in swimming and competing in athletics find that offensive as well. So I say enough is enough. If you have two X chromosomes, you're a woman. If you have an X and a Y, you're a man, period. And if you have a different argument for the other side, I'm open to hearing it. But I haven't heard a good one yet. And
Yeah.
you know, they used to say the sex of the person you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. Well, now people say your own biological sex is totally fluid over your life. It doesn't make sense, and we just got to be done with the nonsense.
Yeah, you know, Tyrus, welcome back. Good to see you. You have a few children and growing up and stuff. And no, I would never paint my face black.
No, it's not. You're talented. And that's really what. That's it. 6 claps. No, and there's a reason why I said that, because basically, what the view of what we've seen is there's basically 10 or 11 so-called trans influencers on social media, and we've seen 6 to 10 of these failed male athletes who suddenly become women to go compete to be winning. So that's like a handful. That's not even enough people to fill this stadium, this arena, or whatever we want to call it.
I say arena.
Arena sounds good. All right. But that's how trans people are being judged, and it's not fair. They just want to live their lives. The NIA, the reason why they had no problem doing it is because they're not for profit. They're Division III and II and 1AA schools that are there for your education, and you get to play the sports. Because usually the NFL's not coming, the NBA's not coming. It's for the love of the game, and so they had no problem saying this is. Now you get up to the NCAA. Well, there's a chance to make money, and they flexed. We saw the flex. Isn't it funny in this country? The only time you get a follow-up question asked is about trans.
Right.
Can we get a trans question to the president so we can get a follow-up question? Because it's not allowed. There was this last NCAA tournament for women was one of the best basketball tournaments around.
Amen.
Men, whatever you want to call it. Caitlin Clark, USC, South Carolina, LSU. The girls came, the women came to play. And everyone was watching. The ratings were phenomenal. But they couldn't have that be a distraction. So what was the first thing we saw? All the racism you could handle going at Caitlin Clark because she worked harder than everybody else. Her workout to shoot the way she shoots, she busted her ass. Her team worked well together. But that's all we heard about. We heard about, oh, she's white and it's disrespectful to back. So that didn't work. So then finally, South Carolina goes undefeated, wins the national championship, and the question you want to ask the coach is, how do you feel about men being women playing in sports? That was the flex, and she bowed because she had no choice.
Yeah, and she
She
caught
had no
off guard.
choice. But at some point, you have to make a decision. The problem is, what it all comes down to is money. Dylan Mulvaney and all these guys, they're not doing it they're not going to Division III school. They're competing for what? Money, notoriety. They want to be the Olympics. They want gold. This is what toxic men do. This is what chauvinistic men do. They will do anything to win. And that's who's representing so-called trans women. It's disgusting. And eventually, at some point, America has to say no. But more importantly, coaches have to say no.
Yeah.
If she would have said no, she'd probably lose every endorsement because the mob, the rainbow mob, flexed on her to get her to say something that she knows she's at her core dead against. She was mad that a white girl was stealing the hype from African-American athletes. How's she going to feel when a 6'10" dude with a wig is dunking on everybody and scoring 40 points a night and winning national championship, breaking her records? You think she's going to give her a hug?
No. You know, Kennedy, if I'm watching the NCAAs, those better be natural double A's.
You're absolutely right.
I just came up with that.
Because I went to a surgeon and had my double A's inserted. And it was expensive, and insurance didn't cover it. So I'm glad you brought that up for my mammarial equality. Thank you for that, Greg. That was very brave.
Thank you.
But Dawn Staley, I know why she wants trans athletes to play on her team, because she wants to keep winning. It's great as a basketball coach when you have a completely undefeated season. The only way to keep that going is to have the physiological advantage. You know, it's like I compete in triathlon. There's so many things we can't do, and I suck at it.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if I could wear flippers during the swim, or if I could snap a motorized component onto my bicycle so I had an engine to get me up those hills. I mean, that's essentially what testosterone does. It is an athletic, physiological advantage. There are people, to Tyrus's point, there are people who are truly trans, who are truly born in the wrong body, and they are tortured by this issue, which will not go away anytime soon. They make up a fraction of this community, but somehow it has eclipsed every single conversation.
You know, the thing is, though, Adam, aren't we all born in the wrong body? I mean, I look at you. You would like a better body.
This is true. I was ranked 3rd in my high school in wrestling. I was homeschooled. Grandma was a beast, you know. But yeah, one of the big issues is transgenders in sports, and I volunteer as a middle school wrestling coach, and if somebody's willing to get a sex change to win a medal, that's the kind of commitment I'm looking for in an athlete, you know. Because my team sucks as boys. As girls, we have a shot, you know. We are trading peanuts for gold next year, and but like Leah Thomas was ranked 462nd as a man, and then ranked #1 as a female. And if you look at her, she had like 3 feet on each girl, -6 inches. But now there's a transgender task force, which I have so many questions. Like, is it made of transgenders? If so, they should be called the X-Men.
Yes.
Or at least the Decepticons. But I do have a friend. I have a friend who's trans female, and she's a fighter at MMA, and she was born a man. Her name is Jita the Man-Eater, and I swear, my life. And she fights men, and she doesn't always win, but she had balls.
Yeah.
Come on, nothing on that. But I'll tell you who I do feel bad for with this whole thing is gay people. Because remember when like being gay was edgy?
Yeah.
Like now it's like, wait, you're a dude who bangs dudes? Okay, boomer. You know.
On that note, let's move on. Up next, Kamala stokes fears as the election nears.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like tickets to see Gutfeld, go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to join our studio audience.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.